President Biden gave his State of the Union address. And on Tuesday, what often happens is he has a luncheon. The president has a luncheon with various television anchors. I participate. I was invited 3 times by President Trump to these luncheons, several times by President Obama. And I inquired to the Biden administration about this year. They said, oh, yeah, they were actually having one. I said, well, where was the invitation? Considering we're the only black news and information network in the country, and we do more black news and information, live news every single day than anybody else, including the Griot, Essence, Black Enterprise, Ebony, Urban One, any other black-owned media outlet. So they told me, oh no, we're going to have black-owned media at the luncheon, but they didn't say exactly who they invited. So we got an invite today for black journalists to meet with Biden cabinet members and other senior officials Friday to discuss post-State of the Union. And so I asked them a question. I said, I'm very curious. Has President Biden had a luncheon or a meeting or a roundtable with a group of black journalists since he's been in office, with black-owned media? Has Vice President Harris? In fact, has President Biden even sat down to do a one-on-one with a black-owned media outlet? I'm still waiting for an answer, but I think the answer is no. Here's why I'm raising that issue, Robert. Because this administration, Biden, he's going to need black folks if he wants to get reelected. And I don't know how you go 2 years or 3 years and you don't sit down with black journalists as the president. The reason I criticize the White House for us getting a lack of an invite is because we deserve face time with the president. I get cabinet members, I get senior officials, but it's different when we get to question the president directly. And this White House, and I'm speaking to the communications director, I'm speaking to Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary, I'm speaking to all of them over there. They need to understand that black journalists and black-owned media deserves the same level of respect as white mainstream media.
You want to hear something very ironic? On this day in 1944, Harry S. McAlpin became the first African-American journalist to attend a White House press briefing. And President FDR said to him, good to see you over there, Harry. And it's interesting to see that here we are, 80 years later, and we're still having the same fights for access, the same fights in order to determine whether or not we can ask the direct questions of the administration. I saw that they did not have a problem talking about African-American issues in passing during the State of the Union, but I think all of us would like to hear a more fleshed out plan on what exactly is going to happen to the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, in addition to the Tyree Nichols duty to intervene bill that Sheila Jackson Lee will be introducing that was announced at the funeral last week. They were fine with sending the Vice President there for photo ops during the funeral. They should be fine with answering hard questions, particularly when it comes to the decriminalization of marijuana, when it comes to the reduction in sentencing, when it comes to federal infrastructure plans for that $1.7 trillion and how it will affect the black community. What are they going to do about the still remaining school-to-prison pipeline that exists in America? I have a lot of questions for the White House I would love to have direct answers to. And the same way that the Ukrainian president can saunter over here and meet with the president directly, ask for billions of dollars, and then get it. There's no reason for African Americans to have to fight harder than that to get access to the president, particularly when it's going to be this time in 2024 when the president's going to be coming to South Carolina, where the first Democratic primary will be, and talking about how much he loves black folks and how much he needs us. You got to tell me now, not then.
Look, Eugene, and here's the whole deal, because I know somebody's watching who's saying, well, they got the press briefing. Folks need to understand how much it costs to be a part of the White House press corps, to have somebody who's a White House, correspondent. The reality is nearly all black-owned media can't afford that. But again, this president should be doing, I don't care if it's off the record, he should be doing sit down with black-owned media, with black journalists, but black-owned media especially. And understand, the 2 largest and most important constituents for Democrats, black women and black men. And I'm saying, if you're going to sit with most of these white anchors for a State of the Union luncheon, you should be sitting down with black-owned media and not just one outlet. Eugene?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't know you're coming to me. Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, look, the thing is this, without black folk, Democrats don't have a base. They don't have, they're going to get obliterated by Republicans up and down the ballot, every single jurisdiction. And the thing is this, right? It's black-owned media that's going to speak to black issues, to black people. I tell folk all the time, you got to talk to people in their language and on the terms that they set and how they receive things. And that's what makes black-owned media special to the black audience, because it's the telling of our story, our history, our issues, our current events, from our perspective, with the accountability to us, an actual black audience. And so the White House has an absolute responsibility to sit down with black-owned media, with black anchors, that are responsible to a black audience. Because at the end of the day, a year from now, when the primaries are underway and they're trying to build out infrastructure to turn out black voters in a general election downstream, they're going to want the help and support of black media. And when engaged black media, I'm sorry, you need to make those deposits in equity now so you can make the withdrawals later.
And to me, it's very simple. Again, we are 2 years in. He has not done that, and he needs to do it. The COVID is not an excuse anymore. And so I dare say, look, the folks over there, pay the hell attention. Do it. And so I'm definitely gonna hit Susan Rice and hit Keisha Lance Bottoms and hit Karine Jean-Pierre. But that's what they need to be doing. And again, if the White House is saying, "Oh, you're upset because you didn't get invited on Tuesday," you damn right. Because the reality is, we put in the work every single day. And if the Trump people could invite me 3 times, the Biden people damn sure know how to find me. And I'm saying, other black folks should be in the room as well, and not just traditional television outlets, people with real platforms who speak to black people.
Yes, that's correct. And, I've worked on several presidential campaigns, so I have strong opinions here. I'm sure you saw my face when you said that has not taken place as of yet. And we are very close to another election cycle. So I agree with you. There absolutely should be an opportunity for you all to sit down with them. And like you said, even if it's off the record, engaging us at the last minute is not an option. Our electorate, our voice is very important. We sway elections, and when we turn out, our folks win.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.